this.
Oh my God, I just thought about that. Wait, why does nobody talk about how Jackson Hinkle? Why does nobody ever fucking shit on him for, like, I don't know, expensive purchases or whatever, like constantly fucking pocket watching him?
That is resonating.
You know, like Donald Trump, Jackson has definitely found a way to build an audience of people who feel disenfranchised or feel pushed away by our society and our system.
Was there ever a moment for you where you were like, what the hell is going on with my friend?
One of the first was when he did the interview with Tucker Carlson.
Joe Biden is plunging us into a fascist state.
Because Tucker Carlson is an asshole. Somebody who, like Jackson, either believes what they're saying or because they get paid a lot to do it. Jackson describes himself as a communist, right? Why? Because he smoked a lot of weed and read Karl Marx. He's the biggest fucking capitalist I've ever seen. I'm so disappointed in what's happened to Jackson. He had this.
Oh my God, I just thought about that. Wait, why does nobody talk about how Jackson Hinkle? Why does nobody ever fucking shit on him for, like, I don't know, expensive purchases or whatever, like constantly fucking pocket watching him? I thought he was a fucking commie. That's right. That's weird, man. Yo, all it takes is for you to fucking slap on the MAGA sticker and people are like, nah, dog, you can have whatever you want, okay? That's crazy. Hassan, nobody knows who this is? No, every dad in Indonesia knows who Jackson Hinkle is, okay? You don't understand. This man has tremendous pull in Malaysia. I wish I was joking, but it's not a joke, okay? Every Jackson Hinkle post is like swarmed by his massive Malaysian fan base, which is really funny. That's why, like, whenever he posts about me, like being like, this man is trans and gay, they'll be like, it doesn't get any fucking movement at all, because they're like, we don't know who this guy is. We don't care. Talk about Palestine, please. Or Russia.
To be something really positive. But he has become the king of conspiracy theories.
The king of conspiracy theories.
Have you heard of somebody called Jackson Hinkle?
Yes.
What do you think about him?
Not my politics at all.
Jackson had been condemned and disavowed by established pro-Palestinian activists.
People see our cause.
Because he's a fucking charlatan. Because Palestine is at the heart of intersectionality. Like, that's it. It touches on all of the immediate aspects of, like, it touches on all of the immediate aspects of American dominance, American culture of dominance, American imperialism, American violence, and American fascism that is also applied domestically upon marginalized communities. So for someone who's like running around being like, oh yeah, I fucking hate transgenders, that's like a really important part of my politics, like, Tom Piker is allowed to have a nice home. Jimmy Dore is allowed to have a nice home. Marxism does not oppose wealth. It opposes exploitation and profits. Let's focus on the real issues. Hassan Piker is just Adolf Hitler with painted fingernails. Banned. So desperate for viewers, you're leeching off the Hasanabi Discord. Don't quit your day job, brother. Sadly, he did quit his day job. Sad for everyone.
Issue as their playground a lot of the times.
But he isn't alone in resetting his political compass.
I feel more like a man already just listening to these gentlemen.
And some of it reflects a big change in American politics.
I think a lot of the younger generation, they have a different perspective of U.S. history of colonialization. They're skeptical of what the government's telling them.
This is CNN, the world's news network.
We're quiet.
Oh, wow. This is a great setup. And where's CNN from here?
He shaved his mustache in an effort to be incognito.
Back at the DNC,
Dude, I have a better location than Jake Tapper. You should tell Jake that.
Hassan had finally got some working internet.
You are the news now.
I think most people who are like not exactly fans of my perspective are still like, well, that's a famous guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hassan streams live on Twitch pretty much everywhere he goes, even when he's grabbing lunch. He's not a Jackson Hinkle fan and actively calls out the kind of hate Jackson spreads. But
I will say this. There are a lot of people that are on the payroll of the American government, or at least working at the behest of the American military-industrial complex, that say a metric ton of propaganda that is never considered propaganda in that same vein as what Jackson Hinkle is doing. Now, I don't even know what his background is in terms of like if he's getting funded by foreign governments or whatnot.
for all his chauvinism and misinformation, Jackson is speaking to a different understanding of America.
COVID changed the world. There was a radical...
Yeah, like I was talking about like the American Enterprise Institute. Like there's that one Syrian dude who like works for the American Enterprise Institute, and he's like, or like Oz Katerji or whatever, the Lebanese journalist, right? Who's like, Israel has to destroy Lebanon. Like all of those guys, like they all get their bread buttered, but because they are ostensibly on the side of American dominance, American imperialism, they're never seen as like ops. They're never seen as like weird. You know what I mean? Because their position is not all that different from, I would say, their position is not all that different from, you know, Anderson fucking Cooper or Jake Tapper. So it doesn't read in the same way that like Jackson Hinkle is actually doing propaganda for a foreign nation. Okay? Does that make sense? Do you guys understand the point I'm making here? Like, I have smoke for those guys as well. That's my difference, at least, from where I'm standing. Like, those dudes are also doing propaganda. It's just pro-American propaganda. And when it's pro-American propaganda, that doesn't read as propaganda. That reads as like normal news. Like what? These are trusted news resources. Like that other Lebanese guy who went on CNN immediately after Israel's terror attack in Lebanon, where they exploded the fucking pagers, and was like, this is a wonderful operation. That dude works for the Middle Eastern Institute, and he was basically outflanking. He was outflanking Benjamin Netanyahu before Benjamin Netanyahu even made a fucking statement. And he said the exact same thing that Benjamin Netanyahu inevitably said. Oh, Israel is doing this wonderful operation, which is a feat of impressive tech, because they want to decouple Hezbollah from Gaza. They want to show Hezbollah that there are consequences for trying to defend Gaza. That guy is an op. You know, he's getting paid.
Radicalization on the right when it came to lockdowns and it came to masks.
Yeah.
What about on the other side?
The American project hinges on being able to afford your treats. The moment that your access to your treats that are affordable are restricted, everything will fall apart. Society collapses. Because then you're like, well, what the am I doing this for? You know, I have a shit-ass job, no future prospects, barely can make payments,
But at least I can go to Applebee's and get $5 jalapeno poppers.
Right.
Okay, and hang out with the boys and slam a couple brews, watch some football. COVID broke that a little bit. All of a sudden, everyone was like, well, okay, what's the whole purpose of this then? If I can't have my treats. I think that was like the breaking point for a lot of people.